Okay, so we've got a calendar printed in Rarotonga in probably 1853 for the year 1854. And it's combined Gregorian and Arapo, or Māori lunar calendar from Rarotonga. We call it Arapo, which you could translate as like the night path. Obviously, we don't go by the days, we go by the moons, so it's po makes sense. Okay, so we've got the 12 Gregorian months of the year. They are transliterated Januari, Februari, Mati. They've retained a lot more of the English letters, so there's L and F in Māori now. We would say Peperuari for February. So we've sort of like made it sound a little bit more according to our Māori alphabet. We've got Ebidoma, a word derived from Greek which we use to refer to the week because we didn't have weeks traditionally. And then we've got Marama, which is the month, and we've got which day of the Marama. Obviously, a lot of these words are very similar or identical to the Aotearoa Māori maramataka. Nights like Tangaroa, Roto, Otane, Rongonui, Mauri, Iro, which is Whiro. Te ora referred to the hour of the day. So at 7:41 p.m. on Friday, it was a full moon. It is operating on a 29 to 30 day lunar calendar. We made sure that our lunar calendar fit into the solar calendar. And how you do that is every second month you add an extra day. So the new moon is Tireo. The night before that is Omutu. Every second month you would have a Omutu and then you take it out. So that was one way we practice integration, but then you still end up with about 354 days in your typical year. So you need to add a few more days somewhere. Down here in this poster we have the names of 13 months, but we only added that 13th month every 2 to 3 years to make your year catch up to the solar year. Our New Year's was based around Matariki, just like many other places around Te Moana Nui a Kiwa. Our Matariki, or our New Year, started around November 14th. When the sun goes down, just after the sun sets, you can see Matariki, and so it's a completely different time to here in Aotearoa. The first tireo, or the new moon, after that would be the first day of the first month. In the Southern Cook Islands, the first month of the year is Aka'au. It means summer, it means abundance of food. It didn't start on January 1st like this calendar does. The missionaries, Aaron Bazalcott was trying to merge the two knowledge systems, but this is already a little bit of a dilution or westernization of how our tupuna actually divided their time and their seasons in relation to Matariki.
What we have here is a 1893 print of Ni Vola, Nimbula, Ni Namata. Vola is the writings. Ni Vula means the moon, but we call Vula month as well now. So the written document of this book or this paper, Ni Namata, for the season. So it's mainly looking at the lunar months of the year. Fijians didn't have days and weeks. They only had seasons. So seasons could go for 2 months, 3 months as well. Vula i Werewere, 2 months for clearing. And then Vula ni Nunga, Lewu and Lailai, that's another 2 months. And December is the Nunga Lailai, the little rabbit fish. And then Nunga Lewu is in January. So this is when they're coming in small numbers. And then that's when they come in plentiful and abundance. And February is Vula ni Sevu. Sevu means always offering stuff. So offering in first fruits to our chiefs and to our church. Vula i Kelekele, Machi, which is Kelekele means digging and then getting ready to plant and stuff like that. And Epereli will be Vulai Ngasau. Ngasau are like reeds, long reeds that they use as well for Veitinga. They have a javelin throwing competition at that time as well, after harvest. Me, which is May. The Vula Ndoi is a plant as well. And May marks the last ending season of all the hurricane seasons. And the Ndoi is now flourishing. From April to May, that's when the Dilio, which is the golden plover, was ready to migrate to Alaska and to Siberia. June and July is Vulai Weruere. Weruere means weeding or clearing the land, ready for planting and stuff. Oko Sita, Vulai Duke, digging and preparing the land, building the yam houses. September, Vulai Wawakanda is preparing as well for the next season, which is coming, and then that's when the birds are coming back into Fiji. Okotopa, Vulai Balolo Lailai. So balolo are the sea worms. It turns up in just limited amounts during October. And November is Vulai and Balolo Levu. That's when they come in plentiful abundance. It's a good feed. We ceded Fiji to Great Britain in 1874. Writings came through with the English from Great Britain as well. So they put this together with the Itauke. Itauke refers to indigenous Fijian. So if we refer to Tangata Whenua, you're the Itauke of New Zealand. So they worked in collaboration with the governors at that time. I mean, I've just been looking at it for maybe a couple of months now, a few months. Just learning heaps from it, actually. I hope our young people will be able to look at this. It really takes us back to how our ancestors lived.
This is a print of Ole Kalena, which is just a Samoan calendar. And then this one is, it's called Ole Kalena Samoa from 1917. This one has a little bit of a visual so you can see what it's meaning exactly. Wa'o Malila, that was the new moon. And it's got just a blacked out circle just to represent the new moon. And then that first quarter, the Mātuatua, it's got the last bit of a moon drawing, and it's got the last quarter Matofitele, and then the full moon is called Atuatua. For me, the full moon Atuatua is like when something is real completed, and it's just a outlined circle. This is some folk songs and myths from Samoa. It's been translated by George Pratt, and it's got notes from John Fraser. I thought what was interesting is that it's got how they used to say the Samoan months in relation to myths and legends, how you would have understood it before Christianity. January is called Tangaloa Fua. February is called Fa'alele, or Ta'awhanua, Nua, or Papu. Fua meaning fruit. This is the season for great offerings to Tangaloa, which is like our big deity. March, Tulia, April, Leunu, and then it just goes all the way down to December, but it's in reference to gods that you would have worshipped or given things to. Rather than like the month where you harvest something, you're sure that you will be plentiful in it because you've done the right thing. I just thought that was interesting how we would understand it in that way.
This was quite rare because there's a note on the back saying that it was Aaron Buzzacott, who was one of the well-known missionaries in the Southern Cook Islands, who prepared this and had it printed. The note was written by William Wyatt Gill, who was a famous missionary as well, who worked in the Cook Islands, and he sent this to George Grey around 1891. And in his note he says that this is probably the only one in existence, using Rarotongan Māori names and from that period in time. It's amazing that we've got something from this era and that this knowledge has survived. And I know people back home are trying to go back to the Arapo right across the Cook Islands. Arapo was always designed to evolve with the time, so it's like a living, breathing body of knowledge, and you can't take something that was 150 years ago and expect it to still work the way it did, because our ancestors were always practicing that trial and error and always adapting with the time, and there are natural climate cycles as well as now we have anthropogenic climate change, which has meant that, probably a lot of these traditional knowledge frameworks have been thrown right off. Things like full moons are traditionally a good night to go out gleaning on the reef for certain sleeping fish, because firstly it's well lit, but also you can see the reflections of their eyes in the moonlight, which means it's easier to sort of pick them up. Those nights are probably still the right nights to go out for those sorts of activities, but other nights, in terms of like when is the marorotu, or when are the flying fish spawning off the reef, those sorts of practices will really have to be worked out through trial and error, just as our ancestors did over centuries. It's a shame that we've lost a lot of that knowledge, but yeah, I think this is the framework that we can use to revive it again.